complete and perfect love of God. This acceptance of this truth will completely and for all eternity change the truth within yourself. Perfect love of God. There's nothing in the mind, as you know it now, that can grasp the perfection, the totality, the universe that is all love. This truth, as in all truths, first has to be accepted. To accept that you are the eternal, perfect love of God is to open to the vibration of love, the light of love, the living of love, and the reuniting with all creation. Even though I use the word reunite as if you have been ununited, as if you have been separate. But the power of the false identity is so prevalent and all-encompassing within the world that it will seem as if you are reuniting, or possibly even that you are entering into a reality that you've never known. But somewhere deep inside, you've carried that truth. Every beloved has carried the truth. It's just so elusive and has been buried for such a long time, since the beginning of the belief of separation, that it seems completely unfamiliar. And this is why the spirit of love takes each beloved through the journey that is most helpful. You can't compare your journey with anyone's. You can't expect your journey to be like anyone's. And you can't even anticipate that who you will walk with on the journey of love will remain in that form even in the journey of love back to reality. Beloveds come into your awareness, into your life, some for a longer amount of time, some for shorter amounts of time. The shortness and the longness of the time doesn't have anything to do with the value that you will receive from all companions. All the companions that you will walk with will bring deeper awareness, learning that each one brings and that you offer to each one. You learn to love within all relationships. In the world of separation, relationships have a completely different purpose. They are believed to be to placate the fear of aloneness and to fill the space that you believe is empty, that everybody believes is empty when they walk the journey of not knowing. But in truth, the journey is within, and each beloved who walks with you is there to learn and to teach. And the more that you can embrace and accept the teachings that show up in the daily life, the easier the journey becomes. One of the precious elements of the journey of love is to not try to use the past and how the past worked or didn't work and try to apply what you have known in the past to work for the spiritual journey. The spiritual journey has basically no resemblance to life in the past of the unconscious belief of separation. Love is the center of the journey of love. Everything in the seeming journey is about returning to love, which is returning to the truth of what and who you are. It's simple, and yet sometimes the journey can be made to seem very complicated, but it doesn't need to be. Trust is at the center of the ease of the journey of love. Trust in God, trust in the truth of all sacred teachings, trust that this is a new way, but that you will always be held in every moment. You are never on your own. You are never without the exquisite guidance of love's hand that leads you. Without the guidance of love, beloveds would just be spinning in circles of trying to fit the spiritual journey into the regular life. The blessing of listening to that voice of love is beyond comprehension. And yet, simple. That quiet place of listening and trusting that love is leading you always, happily leading. So in this moment, as love is leading, as the grace of God in this moment and in every moment is the full presence of all love. Love leads right now. And as we are led, and as this life was led, until everything merges back together again, we affirm that the universe is all love, that there is no battle, that fear truly does not exist, that the road is not meant to be difficult, and that the universe is all love. And every beloved is innocent and pure and all love. And the universe lives within. To accept that this sanctuary is filled with love, because love is all that is invited and nothing else exists. Love is made welcome by the intention of the heart. And affirming and embracing that there is only one presence here. It is the life force of God. And that life force of God transforms, transmutes, and has the power of complete healing within. And in that life force of God, we live and move and breathe as the light of God. Opening the mind, opening the heart to the truth. There is only one light, one love, one life. And this prayer, this is a prayer that is meant to evoke the humility of allowing your journey to be a journey of learning, and to not bring anything to the journey that says, I already know that, and to set yourself up for difficulty by being caught in the fear that produces the knowing of the past, but the willingness to let it all go and ask for help. Mother, oh my mother, please come here, please, to teach this child of yours, to teach this child of yours, who doesn't yet know how to love, who doesn't yet know how to love. Mother, Queen Mother, I ask with all my heart, please send your angels, please send your archangels to teach me how to love, to teach me how to love. In the world of separation, the arrogance of the ego says, I don't need to learn how to love. I've got that handled. And that arrogance, that fear, puts a restriction on the learning within the journey, so that there is a block made up that is not open to learning the truth of love, which has no resemblance at all to what is called love within the world of separation. What is called love in the world of separation is run by fear. The fear of unworthiness and the fear of being alone, the fear of not proving your worth. But none of that is the way of love. Love demands nothing. Love cannot make any demands. It's not possible. And love asks for nothing. Already, love is everything. What could it possibly demand or ask for? Love is freedom. Love is honesty and patience and forgiveness. Even though the forgiveness is temporary, the truth of forgiveness is that it's made by love as an offering of freedom. Teach me how to love. The first step in remembering. The small boat is here. The small boat is here, and it's the love, the light that brings the truth. It opens the path of God, of love. The Blessed Mother is guiding the small boat as it moves down the river, carrying all beloveds back to love. I surrender to the will of God. And in my heart, I am remembering that I am the kingdom of love itself. The small boat has a perfect navigation system that returns everyone to love. Can it be so easy as to get into the small boat, to allow love to take you to love, and to trust deeply that everything is divinely orchestrated? There's never anything to worry about. It's just that beautiful remembering, oh, that's right. My life is in the hands of God. That's where I rest. That's where I trust. Vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando, vem chegando. A Baquinha vem chegando, a Baquinha vem chegando. É amor à luz, é amor à luz. Na Baquinha vem chegando, na Baquinha vem chegando. Vem abrindo o caminho, vem abrindo o caminho de Deus nosso Senhor, de Deus nosso Senhor. A Virgem Mãe que me guia, a Virgem Mãe que me guia, Abaquinha que vem chegando, abaquinha que vem chegando. Me entrego, me entrego, me entrego, me entrego à vontade do Pai eterno, à vontade do Pai eterno. É o meu coração, é o meu coração. Eu sou renho de amor, eu sou renho de amor. There is nothing in the past life, which was 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago. The past life does nothing to prepare for the spiritual journey. Everything that you have used in the past is being called to be surrendered. I surrender to the will of God. Everything that you've used in the past is being called to be surrendered to the will of God, to be transformed and to be used by love itself. Those beloveds who have a strong sense of determination no longer can use the determination in the same way because that determination was run by fear. But the relationship of it and the intention of that determination can be surrendered into the hands of Spirit to be transformed so that a new determination arises from that old habit. And the determination of love allows the Spirit of love to guide, to lead, to bring clarity, and the determination to receive the guidance, the clarity, the strength to walk the spiritual journey. Now that determination is being used for love. And all of the other aspects that you may have held as maybe a weapon in the past now becomes an intention of love. Surrender everything. Everything that has been developed as a personality, as a way of being, as a strategy of any kind, surrender it all. And the Holy Spirit will take what you made in the past and transform it into holiness, into a blessing. It won't look anything like what it looked like in the past. But to be used by love is to become the holiness of God's grace. And the power completely transforms. What you used in the past, what everybody has used in the past for fear and protection, becomes holy and the sweetness of God, no longer used to battle, no longer used to defend or protect, because trust is being accepted that you no longer are in need of protection or defense or any kind of battle. The battle is over. Love has come. Shaping the eye. Children can easily open the drawer that lets the spirit rise and wear its favorite costume of mirth and laughter. When the mind is consumed with remembrance of God, something divine happens to the heart that shapes the hand and the tongue and the eye into the word love. Children can easily open the drawer. This has nothing to do with time, of being a child within form. This has to do with being open and entering into the relationship with God as a child. Come as little children. Come without the knowing. And let the spirit rise and wear its favorite costume of mirth and laughter, because there is nothing to battle with anymore. When the mind is consumed with remembrance of God, something divine happens to the heart. That is the transformation, the miracles that are occurring in your willingness to have your mind consumed, which truly then means letting go of all the thoughts from the past that have no truth in them, and to truly open to that divine guidance. Something happens to the heart that shapes the hand and the tongue and the eye into the word love. The transformation, the transmission of love that you invite in by inviting in not only guidance, but communion and trust that you will never be left without. That God is wrapped completely around you and through you. And you're just opening to that remembering. And that shapes the hand and the tongue and the eye into the word love until there's nothing that you can offer except peace and harmony and joy, because you have opened to that truth that is within. And it can only be found within. It isn't about trying to find it on the outside in any way. I was called to bring a teaching that is exquisite, and to begin with this exquisite teaching about love. Love is a word that is used, of course, all the time. And its only detriment is because the word love has been used in the world of separation. And it's easy to attach meaning to what love seemed to be in the past. Love in the world of separation is about getting. It's about trying to get rid of fear and find worth. One of the main key ingredients of love within the world is the realization or the belief that love changes all the time. That you can have different kinds of love. And that there are different depths of love. And different meanings of love. Different purposes of love. None of this is true. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there is a kind of love for this and a kind of love for that, and a way of loving one and another way of loving still another. This is the way of the world. Love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds nor levels, no divergencies, and no distinctions. It is like itself, unchangeable throughout. It never alters with a person or a circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of His child. This truth has no relationship to the world of separation. There is no love but the love that God created. There is no self-made love that comes from approval or any needs. Love looks on all as one. So where does this take love in learning to love? That all beloveds are completely called to be loved as one. That there are no distinctions by personalities or likes and dislikes, irritations that come with different personalities or moods or circumstances. None of that has any truth or any value, but it also has no truth and no value because there is at no time in the truth of love that you can change your mind about love or adjust how you feel about someone to accommodate their likability or their non-likability. There's nothing in love that is limiting or in any way saying, I'm in a mood today and I'm not feeling very gracious or generous of offering love because I'm upset with somebody. Love is never touched. And in its extension, there is no upset. What is what is it to be in a life of love that has no upsets, no distinctions of how much love you offer. It's maximal. And that's the journey, is learning to love. Love's entire meaning lies in oneness. And it seems outrageous, it seems even inconceivable to open your heart so completely that you don't have any difference in love between someone that you barely know to someone that you've known for a lifetime. That the love is maximal to all, because every beloved is you. Every beloved is the light of God. Every creature, every living element is love, and it is you. It is God. Do we learn to love? Yes. Will we be shown the way of love? Yes. There is no limit to the capacity of your love, of the truth of your love. And it's meeting that truth to expand your capacity, to let go of the ideas of the past of what love was meant to be, or what it looked like, or how it functions. How many people was it possible for you to love in the past? There were glimpses and touches of love in the past, and those come with you. As everything from the past is let go, all of the fears, all the beliefs of separation, all the ideas of life or death, in your heart opening, all those beloveds from the past become your true love. Your true love that joins the true love of now. To be free of the burdens of the past, of the identities of the past, and to truly learn to love. And it must be so. Sometimes beloveds, and I certainly did at times, go kicking and screaming into the teachings of love. Even holding on to illusions of love from the past as a fantasy. But love is offering its wholeness, its completeness, its universal fulfillment. That you will be, and as you are, the light of love itself, that has no boundaries at all. And there are no boundaries with any beloveds. No boundaries are needed. No allegiances of loyalty are called for, because you're not anymore looking for anything and not fearful of losing anything because everything is already complete. That's the journey of love. The idea of love in the past eludes the mind that thinks of love as partial or as a part. That's where the mind goes insane. That's when you recognize the insanity of the mind, when there is a trying to hold of something that, and to make it what the ego mind wants it to be, and fantasizes about rescues and safety that is caused by another in some way. But the safety comes from the realization that there's nothing for you to defend and nothing to protect. That's the truth of safety, that there is no harm, that you cannot die, that you cannot be hurt, you cannot be damaged. You are the perfect light of God along with everyone. Love's meaning is still obscure to anyone who thinks love can change or be changed. I used to live in a fantasy and questioning of why wasn't I loved? Why wasn't I loved when there was so much longing for love? Not when I was asking that question of why, it was because there was no awareness yet that it was only through my own choice that I wasn't even really aware of at all, that I blocked love, that I said no to God. Most of it wasn't conscious. It was just a no that said, I'll live my life. I know that I am this. I know that I am who I think I am, and I have to perfect that idea of who I am. All the while, love, God, was calling to let go of the battle of trying to make a better me, make a better identity, or please others in some way, in a better way, that would then bring me the feeling of being loved. But it's a beautiful, beautiful place to come to the altar and finally surrender all of that pain and say, I don't know how to love. I don't know the truth of love. Please show me. Please take me and teach me to love. I bow to the Master. I kneel in asking, teach me to love. And in that asking of teach me to love, it was also the asking to help me to stop looking for love outside, but find and come home within and discover this great love. And this great love is not exclusive in any way. This great love is everyone, is everything. And in discovering that great love, all of the comparisons fall away. All of the belief of differences disappear. All the defenses of trying to protect something at the same time as wanting love so deeply and at the same time being so terribly afraid, all of that disappears. Because you're no longer battling with God. You're no longer willing to take the stance of, I know something, when it was clearly that I didn't know anything, but I could learn everything. In the arms of God, everything could be revealed. Nobody that walks in the world in the trance of separation doesn't realize that you can't change the truth of love. Love is impossible to change. It's the universe. It's the life force of all creation. And it's you. But it isn't changed by anything of thought. It isn't changed by opinions. It isn't changed by winning or proving worth. Love doesn't change. It's everything. And it's everyone. Everybody thinks in the world that you can have one kind of love or another and exclude others from that love. I certainly believed in that. I believed that I could make a life and find others that could make that life with me. And then I could exclude all those from the past who had betrayed or caused pain in my perception. In the insanity of that belief, it seemed very logical to exclude those who had betrayed what I thought was me. In truth, no one had betrayed the truth of me. The truth of your divine light cannot be betrayed, cannot be even disappointed, and needs no defense, can't be defended. There is no purpose to being defended at all. In excluding others, as you withhold love from certain ones who have been the betrayers or been the perpetrators of something, you hold yourself in limbo. It's like a holding pattern of a plane that can't land because the belief in betrayal or the belief that you're going to punish others or exclude others because of their behaviors, because you don't like them, because of whatever, keeps you stuck in a limbo where you can't learn to love. Because as you condemn others, you condemn yourself. And as you think that that condemnation is legitimate, you're in a trance. You're in a fantasy of a past that has no reality. The truth of you has always been the complete truth of love. And each beloved that you have walked with in the past, whether it's been for 10 minutes or it's been for 10,000 years, each beloved is the purity and innocence of God, even if they're not aware. And they're waiting, just like you are, to remember love, but not knowing necessarily the way. And as you open in the spiritual journey to the yes, teach me to love, teach me the truth of love, you're calling all those beloveds to your heart. And you're calling all beloveds to enter into your heart through forgiveness. The forgiveness that no one has damaged you. No one has changed your light. To live in a dream, in a trance, is just that. It's a nightmare that can end now. It never was. And your light, your willingness to open your heart and be undefended and to learn to love will serve humanity's return to love. It is dependent on each beloved who is willing to learn to love and to embrace all the beloveds that used to be the enemies. Enemies is a kind of a strong word, but it's an accurate word, because each irritation, each sense of disappointment in someone, each element of giving someone a mixed review, at the very least, is saying you are my enemy. It's stark because there is only all of love, or there is fear and hatred. And there's really no in between. And this is the motivation, this is the calling to return to love, because the rest is pain and suffering. And everyone has walked in pain and suffering. And it's not to say that there haven't been places where you had glimpses of true love and connection, but then all of the beliefs come in and bring them back into personalities and their behaviors and their commitments and everything else that color the atmosphere with separation. I must love is a prayer that is in a hymn. I must love with all of my heart. The Divine Mother is the one who has called me to love completely, because it's your natural state. It's your natural life. And it's the journey of love. There is no love but God's. If you try to withhold love from others, you're trying to make a distinction that love would have to judge the righteous and the sinner. And then you would become the judge and the jury for that righteousness or the sinner. And neither one is true. I must love. I must love with all of my being. And I don't even know what that could possibly be in that prayer. But God will take you. God will take you into love, day by day, step by step, moment by moment. Love is wanting to serve your remembering completely. It's really impossible for the mind to accept that love has no separate parts and no levels and degrees. When you open your heart, and each beloved in the spiritual journey is learning to open their hearts and to let go of the mind that made separation. And as you open your heart, you can experience that deeper love that shows up sometimes for a minute, sometimes for much, much longer. And then that burst of the depth of love that you feel is to be brought to each beloved with complete equality. That's probably the element of love that becomes the hardest. Sometimes it's easy to say, oh, with a teacher, with someone that has blessed you deeply, that you feel gratitude, you feel your heart opening, you feel undefended. And then the calling is take that love and offer it to everyone. Embrace every beloved into your heart with that same unequivocal love. No boundaries, no reservations, no hesitations, no expectations, which is another element that of the hook of the world of false love is the expectations. If I love you, then I expect you to return exactly the same? No. To love without expectations at all is to love the beloved that you don't even know their name and your heart can't help but love. You're not expecting them to return it as an expectation or an obligation. No. Love is. Love flows. Love has no boundaries. Imagine that you have a child and you love that child more than you've ever loved anything or anyone, and you're surprised by it. Could happen with anything and anyone. But that blessing, that child has come to open your heart and to allow you to learn to love and to take that love and offer it to everyone. Most of the time that isn't in the awareness, so it just stays sequestered in a personal love. But God is really calling to open everything. And the simple thing is, I must learn to love, and I'm here to learn to love. And I'm very aware that in the journey of remembering, that leap of faith to love, God will take you, Spirit of love will take you and show you the way into love. I'm always reminded of the book, the movie of Christmas with Ebenezer Scrooge, who hated everybody and was afraid of everybody, and that the angel came and showed him his life, showed him his misery of his resistance to love, his fear of love. And his heart opened. His heart opened, and he couldn't wait to express his love. He went to everyone that he had been so afraid of and had hated and was suspicious of. And he poured his love. Now, yes, that's a book or a movie, but it's the demonstration of actually what is being called for. To allow yourself to be transformed by your yes. Teach me to love. Dear Mother, dear Father, teach me to love. And all the masters that are sent are there as mirrors to help everyone learn to love. Because love always includes patience, honesty, gentleness, expansiveness, no judgment, no opinions, no demands, no expectations. And love just blooms. To realize that you have cried a lot in the past in the belief that you were unloved or not understood, rejected, and you were fearful of others. All of that is what is being called to be surrendered so that you can learn of love. There's a beautiful teaching to learn to be honest is part of the learning of love. Honest with yourself, with your willingness to see what is running. And honesty doesn't apply only to what you say, it's a consistency where everything aligns and there's no battle. There's no inner battle anymore. That's the freedom that everybody is walking toward. That beautiful honesty of love. No thought in any way is in opposition to any other thought that you have. They're all in harmony. You have no thoughts of others and their behaviors or their actions other than the compassion of love that says, I'm holding you in the light that you truly are. And there's no disturbance. That's your freedom. It's all in your willingness to return to love. Because it is the journey that everyone is walking. Some know it, some aren't aware of it. But the journey is the same. I must love. And love has no other purpose but to teach about love. At no level in honesty is there any conflict, because you have nothing to get, nothing to win, nothing to prove. And freedom begins to reveal itself. And where there used to be conflict and tension within you, you're letting it go, because there are no enemies, there are no dangers, and everything is already within. You come into your heart and meet the divine. And you will discover that love that you are, which is not the tiny love that the world has used as a substitute for love. It is the ocean, the universe, the sun, the moon, all the stars. And you wrap that love, that being of purity and perfection, embracing everyone. And it isn't that you have to run around necessarily embracing everybody within a body, but your heart can't help it. Your heart reaches and wraps love and comfort with everyone. And all the personal elements that you used to believe were running the show disappear, because there's nothing to get. And to be joyous for each beloved, to actually feel the joy of everyone's light. That is the blessings of the everyday. It's who you are. It's what you are. There's nothing except the yes. I must love. And I must learn to love. And the power of God will hold the hand and lead the way, teaching with every day the truth of love, the truth of your divine self. There's nothing else that you are. You are that. You are that completely. It's just taking off the costumes from the past. Children can easily open the drawer that lets the spirit rise up and wear its favorite costumes of mirth and laughter. When the mind is consumed with the remembrance of God, something divine happens to the heart that shapes the hand and tongue and eye into the word love. love is lived. Children, innocent child of God, perfect and holy. I must love.